Good evening, everybody. This is Robin with another edition of Horror Pop After Midnight. And my guest is, she's a writer, an actress, a filmmaker, Farah Evers. How's it going, Farah?
Hi, Robin. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's my pleasure. And I'm talking to you all the way from Mexico.
Absolutely, yep. Baja California.
Right? Let's talk about your indie action film, The Heritor. Tell me a little bit about that.
It's The Heritor.
Okay, The Heritor. Sorry.
No problem. The Heritor is an action drama, and it revolves around a disgruntled woman who is faced with a moral dilemma or dichotomy. Sorry about the barking in advance, by the way. It's very loud here. You will hear a lot of barking and meowing. I apologize for that. So basically, it's this woman who belongs to an organization called the Heritors. And what they do, they are assassins who are after a new world order. So they get rid of corrupt politicians in order to instill something better. So the dilemma is that, is it really justified killing or not? And there's a main rule there, which is no women, no children. So my character, Miss, who is supposedly a top-notch assassin, gets set up by a corrupt politician who's a senator. And she ends up killing a child. And this is where she loses her entire grip on being a professional assassin, starts going into drinking and, you know, all this psychological issues facing the dilemma of humanity, of, you know, like, I killed a child now, you know, it's that I crossed the line, and I don't even know if I want to do this anymore or not. Is it justified to kill for the greater good is the main theme of the movie, basically.
And also, it talks about Mist and her relationship with the ghost who never goes away.
Exactly. That's exactly why he's Ghost, because that guy just keeps coming back. He just never dies. And it's a love-hate relationship between them, because obviously they have a history, a love history. And at the same time, there's betrayal. And at the same time, it's like, I want to kill you, but I can't because of that history. So they end up just like coming this close to wiping each other out, but never being able to. And Ghost always comes back, always.
Yeah, let's talk about the young actress who played the homeless girl, where a Miss finds her and takes her in, you know, and, you know, like watches over. So in the film, do you think the reason why Mist took that homeless girl in was because she felt bad of the accidentally killing of the, you know, of the young kid?
Absolutely, 100%. That is a play on the subconscious mind, on the conscience itself, the torture of having killed a child, wanting to save another child, but did she save her? Or did she, you know, turn her... Well, let's not give away too much of the movie.
Yeah, we don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, that's the main question. What happens? But indeed, it's a compensation, basically.
Yeah, you guys had a good on-screen chemistry. You guys played off each other real well. Like if you were like really a real mother and daughter, which was kind of cool.
She is in real life kind of my goddaughter in a sense. I met this beautiful young lady here in Mexico. She's also from Europe, where I'm from Holland, and she's from Finland. And her mom is Pat the Rat, the one who comes out at the end of the movie against me. That's her actual mother. But we became like family. And if you watch behind the scenes on the Evers Entertainment channel on YouTube, you'll see that she and I goof around a lot behind the scenes and stuff like that. So we actually have a beautiful relationship. And her name is Jasmine Crane. I'd like to give her a big shout out.
Hey, that's good. She was good. I loved her whole role, and I'm not going to ruin everything too. I loved, you know, what happens, you know, to her in the film and everything, which it ties in perfectly. I mean, I really enjoyed this. Let's talk about the fight choreography. There was a lot of great fight scenes in that film.
Thank you. Yeah, I have to credit all the fight scenes, or most of them from half to the end, and I'll explain why. To my fight choreographer, Angel Brophy. Huge shout out, because this guy works with Art Camacho, and one of the best people in the action world. He's amazing. He's brilliant. And I've also allowed him to direct the fight scenes. So for me, it was a collaboration when it came to everything fight related. And I absolutely, I'm an action actress. That's what I love. That's my passion, basically, more than any other genre. So yeah, the fight scenes turned out amazing. We did a lot of rehearsals. Again, Evers Entertainment, YouTube, you can see behind the scenes rehearsals and stuff like that, fight scenes and all of that. So I'm very proud of the fight scenes.
Yeah, let's also talk about the ink all over Mist. That was some cool ink. So the ink that Mist had on her arms, did that also tell a story?
Yes. Well, basically, it's mostly, supposedly, that's a character within a character. So in Mexico, and we have taken on the culture here, if you notice that we reference a lot the Katrina, the necklace, the thing that she wears, and that's because of the Day of the Dead here. Calavera Catrina is a symbol of, basically the meaning behind it is that we are all flesh and bone underneath. There's no difference in all of humanity. We're all the same. We're just flesh and bones, right? So they celebrate the Day of the Dead here, and the Katrina is a beautiful symbol. But in the movie, Mist made her guardian angel. So the ink is relevant to painting her face and painting wearing the angel of death, or the way she's looking at it, basically. So that's why you see the difference by the end of the movie, because when she says, that's not who I am anymore, it's kind of like resigning the ink, the Katrina, and everything. If you notice at the end, she doesn't have the thing. The little girl does. She doesn't have the mask on.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. My favorite cinematography shot in the film, I love the darkness and the natural lighting added to it. It's where Mist put on the Day of the Dead skull makeup. It gave me like a Punisher type of feeling.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I was going for. And for her, she's embodying her idol, her guardian angel, basically, her protector, her Katrina, because her Katrina was taken by the kid, right? So she didn't have it. So she wanted to become her, to go with strength and confidence into her confrontation.
I mean, like I said, that was a badass shot, man. That gave me goosebumps of excitement. I was like, uh-oh, she's ready. She's gonna be.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah,
I love hearing that.
Yeah, it's like this. She's like the female version of Frank Castle, getting ready to take care of business, wearing all the leather with the awesome weaponry. I was like, oh yeah, go kick some ass, Mist.
Yeah, that was the inspiration, basically. Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about Day of the Dead in Mexico. What's that festival like? I've never done it, so what's it all about? What's it like?
I know most people think it's very much like they think Halloween when they see that, and it's kind of like cringy for Mexicans. I'm not Mexican, but I have a lot of respect for the culture. I live here, and I wanted to reflect it somehow. But I changed the meaning of Day of the Dead for my movie. I gave Mist her own meaning of it. But in reality, they celebrate death. They celebrate their dead. So it's a celebration of their life and death. And there's a lot of respect in that. You see altars being built, candles and food actually being presented at the cemeteries where I filmed at that cemetery. Actually, I filmed very close to Day of the Dead, one of those scenes. And other parts of that cemetery, you could see actually that people were laying down food and lighting up candles. And so there's a lot of respect for the life, celebrating the life of the loved one here. It's unlike, or not unlike, but it's very different than other cultures where it's all like, tears and they have this tendency to relive it somehow, and that's how they do it.
Yeah,
Understand.
I love the shots in the cemetery. That felt like it was the character itself. I mean, I love it because it had that old type of feeling to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's tombstone. Actually, I made that. That's my prop, and it looked so realistic. I was surprised when I took it with me to the cemetery and I laid it there next to the others, the real ones. I was kind of surprised at how realistic it looked. But yeah, you have to blend in.
Hey, I liked it. I mean, that I didn't know you made that gravestone. I thought it was a legit stone in the cemetery. You know how they make films in the cemetery,
Yeah.
and they'll find a name that's close enough, and they'll use it, act like it's like their family member or something. You did a pretty good. Yeah, you did a pretty good job on that.
Thank you.
I also loved in the film how it had that twisted curveball towards it, especially towards the ending. That gave me a wow moment. I mean, that was very good, throwing a little curveball towards the ending of it. So, how it ended, will there be any other films of Mist?
I love that you say that. I love how in tune you are with this movie. Yes, I left it kind of an open ending in a sense, or a cliffhanger, because you don't know what. There's a blackout at the end. It's just like it goes dark, and we don't know what really happened to the senator, and with that final scene on purpose, because I wanted to be able to leave an opening for a part 2, because I'm itching to do a second character, and time hopefully on another level. Let me tell you something real quick about this movie.
Okay.
It started out 6 years ago as a short film, and it had nothing to do with what you see today. And throughout the movie, throughout filming, I had to wait 6 months to a year in between filming scenes. So the girls started growing up. I've had, unfortunately, deaths in the movie. I mean, not because of my movie, but just because of the passage of time, things happened. I did my own stunt, and my stunt coach, unfortunately, within a couple of months of my scene, was murdered in Tijuana. I've had actors drop out. I've had what can you think of as an obstacle or a challenge? It happened to me. Whatever you can think of happened to me. So I ended up rewriting the story 5 times. And the big challenge was, by the end of it, I didn't have a movie. I had pieces of puzzles that didn't fit together. So I call it my miracle movie, because I was able to stitch it together into a story, into a final cohesive story that made sense. And this has been one of the toughest journeys of my life. I gave up everything to make this movie happen. And I'm not kidding when I say I gave up everything. Like, I went through a lot.
Boy, that's a lot of years and timing and rewriting. And yeah, I noticed the homeless girl. I mean, like how you wrote it through all these years. She starts off very young, and then when you get in the middle of the movie, she's a little bit older. I'm like, wait a second, how did she get so tall and older?
But this is why we had the passage of years in between, because we had 1 year later, 2 years later, and because everybody was either growing up or quitting, and so it's a miracle that I was able to recast people and rewrite and start again. And it was, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but seriously, it was a journey and a half, for a challenge beyond challenges.
I bet it was. And your film's going around the film festivals right now, getting shown. Will it eventually also be on streaming and maybe in the near future, like on physical media?
That is the absolute goal right now, is to drop it in the right hands of distributors. And that's the thing that I'm right now trying to do. It's not easy to get a good distributor. That's currently I'm trying, I'm talking to people. I I don't have anything solid yet, but of course I'll let everyone know. And of course we want to go on Tubi. That would be, one of the ultimate things. Tubi, Amazon Prime, and hopefully later DVDs and stuff like that. So
that'd be pretty good. And like I said, I really enjoyed the film, and I'm not just saying that. I mean, I'm real picky on films I watch, and and I'll like nitpick on stuff too, not like slam it. But I really did enjoy this film. I mean, I did. I just like the whole. I just like the whole Miss character, and I just want to see more of her. And I do, and I also want to see more of the Ghost. The Ghost was a badass.
Oh yeah, you liked him. A lot of people told me. A lot of the test audience told me that they love Ghost, but Ghost is coming back in the sequel. But I don't know if we're keeping him throughout the entire movie, because we have already sort of letters of intent.
Nice.
From a couple of decent names in the industry who are excited to be part of the character.
Nice.
So I'll drop one name.
Okay.
Somebody called Nicholas Schreck, who is very well known in certain worlds. And we have him gonna play the main character, the head of the Heritors, who is El Mudo. We're gonna have him. And so I'm still working on the others. I don't have them like 100% yet, but we're thinking to bring in Danny Trejo and others into the project and try to do a sequel. So I don't know if Ghost will be a main in that one, but I don't want to spoil it.
No. Yeah, don't spoil it. We want people to see your first film and then get excited for the second film.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm not trying to spoil stuff. I'm just saying certain things because you won't want to spoil it because we want people to watch it. So when you were showing your films everywhere at the festivals, how did the audience take it? Did you sit through some of the showings and see how the audience reacted to that?
Not really, actually, because the thing is that we've had 3 selections and 1 award that was already won, but 2 of them, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this. You and your audience, please don't quote me on this, but I think 2 of them are online festivals. So I'm not sure yet what the audience reaction is, and I'm still in Mexico, so I haven't yet been invited to the physical ones. I think the New York Film Festival I think that one is physical, not online. Indie House is online, I think. And that's the award we just won a couple of days ago. And there were 2 more festivals, but the names escape me right this instant. But yeah. So no, I haven't been actively, physically going to those festivals as of yet, because right now it's just we have 3 selections and 1 award. So, but it's looking good for my no budget first feature film. I'm quite happy with the direction. I mean, I feel it got paid off. The hard work, the struggles, and the tears that I shed have been, rewarded with those selections.
That's pretty cool. You're also a writer too. You did a sci-fi short story, The Reformation. Tell me a little bit about that.
I've written 2 sci-fi, one sci-fi novel and a short story called Reformation. It's about basically catching murder before it happens, diving into the minds of psychopaths and sociopaths and killers, and trying to understand their mentality. I've always had this interest in the mind of a criminal. And in politics, everything I write has some political tones to it always, whether it's Reformation or Origins or my movies. There's always something political because I grew up in the Middle East and I've survived several wars. That is before we immigrated to Europe and I became Dutch, and so it's part of me and part of my childhood and part of my being, the whole political scene. And so I always have nuances of politics in the main story.
Now, does Farah have a geek passion? Do you have a passion you like when you're not like writing and filmmaking? You got a little nerdy passion that Farah likes?
Oh yeah. Several. Everything I do is a passion. My hobbies are my work, and my work is my hobbies. So basically, I'm a gamer, a VR addict, virtual reality. I build 3D models and spaces in VR, and I play games and stuff. This is one of my hobbies/passions. But mostly, I do digital art, digital sci-fi paintings, which you can check out in my VR space. I'm on Spatial, just in case anybody is a VR addict like me. And what else do I do? I'm a professional graphic designer, actually, for 25 years plus. Professional award-winning graphic designer. I specialize in book covers and movie posters, mostly. And just basically design, art, stuff like that, acting, and so it's all within the arts.
That's pretty awesome. Who knows? Maybe I'll come to you and have you graphic design me a podcast T-shirt for my podcast.
Please do. Let's do it.
I think you'd do a good twist on it. Yeah, because I want.
I'm also a tarot reader, by the way.
You're a tarot reader? Really? So,
yeah.
So you're a tarot reader too. So you believe in the paranormal too, right?
To a certain extent, I have very weird theories about how this stuff works, and it's mostly science based. I know this sounds crazy, but it's kind of the quantum physics, and within that realm of why I think these things work. More than just paranormal fantasy, stuff like that. I have a weird way of thinking when it comes to that stuff.
So what you're saying is the paranormal goes like through dimensions, from one dimension to one plane to another.
Well, who's to say that we are not, we don't live in parallel universes? Who's to say that there isn't, quantum physics behaves in the weirdest ways. You always have quantum fluctuations popping in and out of life, right? You have quantum entanglement. You have various things that are going on. The current timeline that we're on and several parallel time, who's to say there aren't? So for me, there has to be something scientific. Every time I do a reading, now I specialize in love reading. I've helped a lot of people. A lot. I mean, you could go see the testimonials on my tarot page. But it's funny because I always say, how does it work? Like, I can do a love reading for you, and then either it will happen or it's something that has happened that you haven't told me about. I never know how it works. It's like, I'm always skeptical when I'm doing it because I want to know the science behind it, and I'm pretty sure there is.
Something? I can agree with you on that too. I mean, like I said, that's why they call it, the unknown,
Exactly.
And the attachments, there's been some places I've been to that was haunted that, I brought home a couple attachments, but they never stayed with me that long. Thank God. You can tell when you have something attached to you. I have a friend that is how do you say it? A sensitive, and she uses crystals and stuff. And yeah. Yeah, so you got crystals too. So she told me one time I was over at their house. I'm friends with her husband, and she goes up to me and goes, "Have you been to any haunted places lately?" And I was like, "Yeah, why'd you ask that?" And she goes, "I can tell you had some, attachments around you." So
energy.
Yeah, energy. And she goes, "If you want, I can give you some crystals, to help you sleep." And I was like, "I'm fine," because their house is haunted too. I was doing a podcast show down in their basement. That's where her husband has all this, collectibles of horror films and all that. And while she was filming us, she said she saw an orb come down the basement stairs.
Wow.
And I was like, really? We're filming this. I go, after we're done, I got to check this out. So I went to go look on my camera, I didn't see anything. So it must have didn't show, but she said she saw an orb coming down the stairs and like fly right behind us. But when I looked in the video, I didn't see no like orb coming down the basement stairs or anything like that when I looked at the video.
It must have been a lighting issue, maybe, because sometimes the lights do catch orbs. I've seen a lot of haunted places that have been filmed, and you can see the light catches sometimes those things. But yeah, I mean, who knows? You can never tell, right?
Hey, like I said, you just don't know. So, besides, doing a sequel to your film, are you going to be doing any other film projects?
Yes, I'm actually in talks with a couple of the very professional martial artists, and I want to do a martial arts movie. And I've come up with a concept of it. Our problem right now is, funding and stuff like that. But if that's sorted, then I will do the Heritor and my martial arts movie, and it's called The Gypsy Samurai. The martial arts.
Gypsy Samurai.
I'm dealing with a real life ninja samurai and another very, very professional martial artist, very old fashioned. So with those two people and myself, we are going to do like a samurai style movie. It's not like a period movie.
Yeah.
Not old times, it's modern times. And it revolves around a gypsy, me, and a terrorist. He's a terror leader. And, there's like a whole thing going on. She's a retired samurai who has a dilemma to solve for those two and their people. And so a war starts, and it's going to be high action, crazy martial arts movie.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, I'm a big lover of horror, but my second favorite genre is action and martial arts. So I like
horror, making horror. Like, I don't watch horror, but I love making horror movies. And the funny thing is, in VR, I love to build and visit a lot of haunted or horror places. I'll send you my gaming channel. It's just a channel I just started.
Nice. Where
I go in and I investigate horror spaces and, all kinds of stuff. Maybe you would like that because you're a horror fan. So I think you would enjoy looking in 3D all around you and seeing all this crazy, freaky stuff. And I built those as well.
That's pretty awesome. So where can everybody find you on social media?
So, social media, Evers Entertainment on YouTube, and Farah Evers on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. It's all Farah Evers. Instagram. Okay. Basic. That's it. I don't have too much social media. I'm not so good at social media.
Hey, that's why you need to hire a young kid to do your social media for you.
I really do. I need somebody to help me market everything because I have so many services. I'm a Jane of all trades. I work a lot, but I don't market enough because I'm not good at that part. So I need help when it comes to that.
That's pretty awesome. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It was a great conversation. Thank you.
And everybody, thank you for listening to Horror Pop After